Who is the Buddha? What are the four truths that Buddhism is based on? And what are its teachings? What is the opinion of Islamic thinkers about this religion? Please stay with us until the end of this video. Hello there, lovely friends. I hope you're doing well. Please subscribe to our channel before watching this video, and click the bell button to be notified of new videos. Please like and share this video to show your support. Buddha is the nickname of the founder of Buddhism, and in Sanskrit it means one who has attained enlightenment. Buddha was born in the ancient city of Kapilavastu in southern Nepal. The dates of his birth and death are not explicit, but he probably lived around the 6th to 4th century BC. Buddha's life is tempered with legend. It is said that his family was from race of warriors, and his father ruled the Sakya or Shakya clan. According to the Buddhist texts written in Pali, at the age of 29, the Buddha left his father, wife and only child after seeing the foresights of an old man, a forlorn patient, a corpse and a monk. He shaved his head, wore the clothes of Hindu monks, and practiced mortification for 6 years. Finally, he became Buddha under a tree, that was later called the Bodhi tree, which means, the tree of vigilantism and illumination, and attained enlightenment. It is said that under that tree, Buddha achieved the four extraordinary truths of his religion, which are: 1. Suffering. Everything that steps into the realm of existence is sentenced to suffer and pain. 2. The beginning of suffering. Attachments are the cause of suffering. 3. The suspension of suffering. Examine the situation, and notify that improvement is possible. 4. The way to stop suffering is the way that leads to absolute freedom or nirvana, and prescribe medicine to achieve health, which is obtained after going through the 8 stages, which include correct understanding, correct thought, correct word, right action, accurate life, right effort, right thought and accurate meditation. In his doctrines, Buddha did not talk about worshipping gods and praying to them. The main goal in his doctrines is release from suffering and reincarnation. Buddha sent his apprentices around, and established 10 moral rules for Buddhist monks, which 5 of them were required for other Buddhists as well, which are: avoid devitalize living beings, avoid stealing, avoid fornicate, refraining from lying and avoid drunkenness. Many of the Buddha's relatives joined him, such as his cousin Ananda, who was a noble disciple of the Buddha. Among the beliefs of Buddhists is the repeated life, or reincarnation, and they believe that human is reborn after death. Thus, every next life will be the punishment or reward of the previous life. One of the important beliefs and doctrines of Buddha is that no creature should be destroyed, because every creature will live gradually, and with a progression of several lives, from an insect to a complete human being. Therefore, every kind of life is divine. Buddha never claimed to be a prophet, and only considered himself as a teacher, who teaches people the correct way of life. That is why Buddhists do not worship God, but try to reach nirvana or get rid of suffering. Buddha taught people that they should orientate their thoughts in such a way that they only think about right and good actions, and that they can control their emotions and strengthen the power to inhibit sin. In Buddhist temples, there are large statues of Buddha sitting on cross-legged. Buddhists sit in front of these statues to meditate in the Buddha style. This type of sitting in front of these statues has been mistakenly considered as worshipping Buddha or paganism. Buddhist monks wear loose robes, made of orange-yellow fabric, crocus, and walk barefoot. They shave their heads and hold a catch bowl, and in that they carry gifts from other Buddhists. It is said that Buddha died at the age of 80 after 45 years of training. After his death, Buddhism split into two main subcategories, the Theravada or little circle, that the followers consider themselves loyal to the basic principles of Buddhism. Today, it is more prevalent in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Cambodia, in Thailand, and the other is Mahayana or big circle, which is matched to the rituals and beliefs of the people of different areas, which is more prevalent in Tibet, Korea, China, and Japan. The Mahayana doctrine, which includes the majority of Buddhists, has recently found many followers in Europe and North America in addition to Asia. In this subcategory, the praise of the Buddha as a perfect human being became the laudation of a divine being. Buddhism spread in the borders of India and Iran in the 3rd century BC, due to the propagandistic activities of Ashoka, the Indian emperor who ascended the throne around 268 BC. In fact, he caused this religion not to remain at the level of a small Indian denomination. One of his actions was to build 84,000 Buddhist temples, in the form of semicircular stupas on a circular platform. Today, some of these temples exist near current Peshawar, Kandahar, and Nagarhar, Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Also, the more epigraphs of Buddhism, known as rules on stone and rules on columns, have been remained by him. Today, 1 out of every 5 people in the world believes in the doctrines of Buddha. After the arrival of Islam to Buddhist areas, and the quantized retreat of this religion against Islam, Buddhist pagodas were often removed, but sometimes reconciliation agreements were made between Muslims and Buddhists. But what is the notion of Islamic scientists about Buddhism? Some of Islamic scientists have spoken about Buddha and his religion in such a way that they considered his prophethood confirmed or probable. Mullah Muhammad Baqir Majlisi mentioned Buddha as Buddhaskat and regarded him as a possible prophet. Muhammad Hossain al-Kashif al-Ghido also called Buddha the prophet of India, and Wajdi considered his prophethood possible. Some compilers unify Buddha with some prophets, as some consider him to be Dhul Kaf, and the swearing by figs in Suratin refers to the fig tree which Buddha meditated under it. Some have also unified Buddha with Hermes, which is Idris. Some have considered the features mentioned for Buddha to be the same features of the prophet Khizr, and others have considered the Buddha to be the prophet of the Sabians. Against these ideas, some do not believe any nobility for Buddha and his religion. In the works of Islamic philosophers, involving Shahabuddin Shiravardi, many times opinions related to Buddha, with the names Buddhists often use as soft, have been propounded, and sometimes these ideas have been confirmed and promulgated. Mullah Sudra also related the belief in reincarnation to Sabettv.
By studying Buddhism, we find out that there are common points and differences of ideas between Buddhists and Muslims. From this point of view, that this world was definitely not created by accident and that this world has a demiurge, Buddhists agree with Muslims. There is also acceptance in metaphysics in Islam and Buddhism. But the most important points of disagreement can be considered the belief in polytheism in Buddhism, which is against the belief in the oneness and uniqueness of God in Islam. Also, the visualization of the demiurge and reincarnation in Buddhism is rejected by Muslims. So far, some matters have been explained with the summary of Buddhist thoughts and the idea of Muslims about them. But regarding the confrontation of Buddhism with other religions, it should be said, the trainings of Buddhism in dealing with other religions are based on irenic communication. We have never had religious extremism courses towards Islam in Buddhism throughout history. But why are Buddhists attacking Muslims recently in some areas? Among all the trainings taught to Buddhist monks, avoid killing is the first one, and it can be said that non-violence in Buddhism is higher than any other religion. So why is it that recently in some areas, Buddhist monks are spreading hatred against Muslims, and have contributed in actions that have resulted in the deaths of thousands of people? In recent years, there have been conflicts between Muslims and Buddhists in Myanmar and Sri Lanka. The surprising thing is that none of these two countries are under the threat of extremist Islamists. Muslims in both of these countries are generally peaceful and form a small minority. In Sri Lanka, the issue of Islamic slaughter has been the starting point of the story. Of course, no Muslim was killed in these conflicts. But the situation in Myanmar is far worse. In this country, the leader of the enmities is Group 969, which is led by a monk named Ashin Virato. He was jailed in 2003 for propagating religious hatred. After his release in 2012, surprisingly, he called himself Burmese Bin Laden. Sadly, the 969 movement that Virato launched was supported by the Myanmar military and government. According to Amnesty International, the excruciation of Muslims in Myanmar is an organized scramble to drive Muslims out of Myanmar. Of course, these violences have political reasons, and are against the teachings of Buddha and his true followers.
Thank you for watching this video all up to the end. If you enjoyed it, please like it and subscribe to receive notifications of new videos by clicking the subscribe button and the bell next to it.